then looking forward for a great and interactive session. The session is going to be recorded, so if you don't mind, I'll start the recording now. We also have interpretation ready. So if you're a francophone, please switch on to the interpretation and select French or English of the language of choice. We would also be happy to know where you're connecting from. So please fill out the chat, make use of the chat, tell us where you're connecting from and what is your expectation out of this meeting today. So our moderators for this session today are Juliet Kimotho, as well as Jennifer Kaberi, who I'll officially hand over to them to start off the session. Thank you so much and all the best. Over to you, Jennifer.
Capable of getting into careers like technology, and it is good to have young girls.
We've lost Jennifer. Jennifer, we can't hear you.
Sorry. So we have a panel of girls. We have a panel of mentors who we'll be able to speak with. We are going to have a conversation on ICT and how can we enhance information communication technology to be able to improve our lives as young women. So and I'm going to, before that, we have an amazing game. So I'm going to have a game. Let me project it. Let me project the game shortly as we play, as we start. Just give me a second. There we are. I want us to play a Kahoot game. I want to see how smart we are. So we are going to start. We are going to play this game. And we start now. So I'm waiting for you guys to get in, and let's start playing. I'm waiting for people to join in, both adults and young girls. I want us to start, all of us. I'm still waiting. Here is the code. If you don't know how to go to Kahoot, so you Google Kahoot on your computer or on your phone. And I know it's a bit difficult if you're using your phone. Just click Google Kahoot. It will bring play and then use this code. They'll ask you for a code. You can see the code there.
Jenny?
So use 342169 as the code and join. I can see we already have one person joined in.
Jenny? Sorry.
I'm waiting for you, people. Thank you, Lily.
Jenny,
Thank you, Shiko. Thank you, Zuhura. Thanks, Doc Mustafa. Oh, wow. I would want to meet you, Doc Mustafa.
Jenny, can you hear me? Sorry.
Thank you, Mongisto. Thank you. I'm waiting for 3 more people, and then we can, because we are over 40, so I'm waiting for 3 more people to join so that it can be. Thank you, Tess. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, BK. One more person. Thank you, Jeez. And I start. Okay.
Okay, let me see. Yay, let's see who has won. Okay. I'm going to the next question. So the answer is 1943, not 1920. Okay. The first computer 43, and everybody said 1920. So the next one is, and this is for all the, oh, Mwangi. Okay. Good job. So, and this is for the girls in the room. Let me see. Guys, we are many. Good job. Who said it's Marianne Kropp? And she's still alive. Can you imagine? She still works for Google. It is a woman. The reason why we are talking to each other right now, you can hear my voice, is a woman. Okay? And that's a black woman, people. A black woman. So I'm going to stop here, and then you're going to go back to Kahoot later. So I'm stop sharing. Kahoot later, and you're going to, and for at this juncture, I would just want to recognize our esteemed panelists. Okay. So I'm going to just give me a second. I close some. We're going to appreciate and just to learn from you guys on what, and as I introduce, and we hear from opening remarks. So I'm going to start with, I don't know if Sarah has managed to join in. Sarah from Plan International. Sarah, are you there? Okay, she needs to be upgraded. Keith, you need to upgrade Sarah. But as Sarah joins in, I'm going to call in Juliet Kimotha from FAWE to give us opening remarks. Let's wait for Sarah to be upgraded.
Juliet. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you so much, Jenny, and everyone else who's managed to join this particular intergenerational dialogue. First of all, this is really something very interesting in the world we are living here today. I mean, we're living during COVID times, and as you can see, all of us are actually using internet and laptops and gadgets and phones to join this particular meeting. So there couldn't be any other better conversation for us to have today other than the conversation on how we can help girls and young women to get into the ICT world. And really, it's such a pleasure to have the mentors we have here today who are seasoned ICT women, young women, and women in general, and who have had the experience, have lived the journey of being who they are today, and also having our young girls, some who are who just completed high school, others at the university, and they are quite an interesting lot to have in this particular conversation, because these are the young people that will be sitting in the positions that our mentors are sitting here today. So I hope to see a lot of engagement. The good thing that everything that is being asked here today belongs to the girls, belongs to the young people in this room. So it will be great to see how we gather the insights from the women who have gone before us, who have made a spectacular, who have broken the glass ceiling, And really, it's to appreciate all of them here. So the Forum for African Women Educationalist Power is really glad and excited to hold this particular intergenerational dialogue. And just in brief, we are a Pan-African organization present in 33 African countries with the sole mandate of educating girls and women in Africa. So ICT is one of our focus areas whenever we want to empower women and girls, and we are glad to be this particular discussion. We look forward to engaging everyone inside here, and especially having the girls and young women benefit from what we'll hear from our mentors today. Thank you so much, Jenny. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Juliet. So next is Keith. Keith Andere, head of Secretariat at African Youth Commission. Keith?
Hello, Jenny. Can you hear? We can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. So I'm saying next is Keith. Keith Andere, from the head of Secretariat at African Youth Commission.
All right. Thank you so much, Jenny, and good morning, good afternoon, colleagues, from wherever you're connecting from. It's indeed such a pleasure to be here today as we mark the 10th anniversary of International, Girls' Day in ICT campaign. This to us, again, is a very matter close to our heart, because ICT indeed is a driver of, the Africa development agenda. Africa cannot develop, we cannot transform, we cannot move forward if we don't embrace, ICT and particular focus on making sure that two things happen. One, we build the infrastructure, and two, we also, have digital literacy to make sure that that digital gap is narrowed and not widened, especially during these interesting times of COVID, where we are seeing almost every sector moving and tapping into technology. But for me, there's no technology without internet. Internet is almost now the backbone of technology. So think about all these other aspects of technology. We have Internet of Things, we have artificial intelligence, and many other forms of technology, including, medical technology. But all these are driven by internet. We are now on the continent talking about 5G, whereas we still have very few, internet connected areas. And we also have seen from various reports that women are lagging behind within this sector. And we hope that such initiatives are some of the initiatives where we can empower more young girls to join into the profession. We can have more young people come into profession, but most importantly, provide that linkage, provide that mentorship opportunity to see that even those who are within the space can continue to learn from those who have been ahead of us. I am personally he for she. I advocate for more girls into the space. In my day-to-day work, I am an ICT professional. I am a cybersecurity professional, and all I do is ethical hacking. But that's a conversation for another day. For today, we are here to listen to all the young women and girls in this space and what they've been able to do. And also, we are happy to look through some of the challenges and opportunities within the space. NYC also, among other things, coordinate the Africa Internet Governance, the Africa Youth Internet Governance here in Africa. And Africa Internet Governance is really a platform where stakeholders come together and engage on matters of internet policy and how it reflects and connects to us as common citizens. So I'm inviting you to join on board. I'll speak about that later, where we can continue to engage beyond this space. But for now, we are happy to support the convening of this meeting together with other partners, and we are looking forward for fruitful and great deliberations. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Keith. Thank you so much, Keith, for those kind words. And it's good to know that we have a hacker among us. So if anything goes wrong in the system, we already know someone who's going to help us with the Zoom bombers. So our next in line is Sam Norga, who also is a he for she like Keith. And Sam is from Plan International, and he's the director of the African Plan Plan International African Union Liaison Office. Sam? Sam? Okay, someone says they are speaking on behalf of Sam. So whoever is speaking on behalf of Sam, please just switch on your camera and please talk.
Keith, you need to promote Sarah.
Sam is now promoted. I'm unable to see Sarah though, but I should be able to do that in a second. Sarah, please raise your hand. I can't see you on either the attendance or the panelist list.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I can hear you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. It's really wonderful to be here. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. So I'm Sarah Tabit, and I lead Girls' Rights Program for Plan International African Union Liaison Office. I'm actually sitting on behalf of Sam Norga, who is the director, who has requested me to present on behalf of him, representing Plan International, because he couldn't join due to urgent matters, but he will eventually join us. Distinguished ladies and girls and young girls present here today, all protocols duly observed. Please allow me, on behalf of Plan International, to welcome all of you to this virtual commemoration of the 10th anniversary of Girls in ICT Day under the theme Connected Girls, Creating Brighter Futures. Plan joins millions of people across the world who recognize the role and potential of girls in making a difference in the digital space. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt about the transformative power and potential of information and communication technology in the 21st century. ICT is a life changer, and it transcends gender, culture, race, color, nationality, and age. Technology is a great enabler and has the potential to accelerate this year's the African Union theme on arts, culture, and heritage for the Africa we want. Reflecting on the theme for the 2021 ICT for Girls Day, there is the presumption that connecting girls to ICT creates a better and brighter future for them. Evidence shows that there is parity in education between boys and girls in most African countries, especially at the lower levels. However, as girls move up the education ladder, the disparity becomes very obvious. The challenge becomes even more visible when one analyzes the digital divide between boys and girls. A report that we published by Plan International and also the African Child Policy Forum in 2019, which is entitled Getting Girls Equal, it noted that countries in Africa are taking significant steps to promote and enhance girls' access to ICT. However, there are still gaps in the actual investment by African countries to bridge the digital divide. According to the report, the challenges were not only confined to funding, there are other challenges which include weak policies and curricula, lack of role models to promote ICT for girls, the general perception about ICT being a predominantly male career, and weak implementation of ICT policies at the education level. It's important to appreciate the fact that many countries in Africa recognize the potential of ICT as part of the transformational growth factors in lifting millions of people out of poverty and have put in place policies to support such initiatives. At the continental level, the African Union Agenda 2063 recognized the importance of development that's people-driven and which relies on the potential of its youth, including girls. The African Union Science, Technology and Innovation Strategy for Africa 2024, it places science, technology and innovation at the center of Africa's socioeconomic development and growth. The role of girls and young women cannot be overemphasized in moving this agenda forward. There is no doubt about the strong linkages between the use of ICT among girls and internet access in Africa. Internet access and the use of ICT for development in Africa has grown exponentially over the past 20 years, with over 500 million users in 2020. However, the number of girls who have access to internet is far lower than boys, especially among low-income families. Whilst recognizing the socioeconomic potentials of ICT, there are barriers that limit girls' equal access to ICT. The question we need to ask ourselves is, how can we ensure that we have an all-inclusive equal access and use of ICT for girls in Africa? At Plan International, we believe ICT, or innovation, and by extension, unimpeded access to the internet, is a right that needs to be promoted, supported, and sustained if girls are to play a meaningful role in society. Girls need to be free online and need to be given a space and opportunities to explore their talents in the digital world. The cycle of poverty, gender-based violence, and unequal access to opportunities can only be addressed through partnership and collaborations. As we commemorate the 10th anniversary of Girls in ICT Day 2021, Plan International would like to make the following recommendations. 1. The need to provide equal access to ICT and address the underlying gender discrimination caused by culture, policy, and limited funding. We also need to change the general perception about ICT and the gender stereotyping associated with ICT-related occupations. Effort needs to be put in place to encourage and support girls to venture into ICT. Role modeling and increasing opportunities for girls who decide to pursue ICT as a career. Governments and institutions should step up efforts aimed at providing equal opportunities for girls who complete courses in ICT-related fields. We should put in place affirmative actions that are attractive to girls and which provide incentives for girls to pursue careers in ICT. Governments in Africa should take advantage of the African Union Science, Technology, and Innovation Strategy and increase funding and opportunities for girls, including those living with disability and those who live in rural areas. The use of ICT sometimes exposes girls to online abuse. We would therefore like to call on member states of the African Union to take steps to ratify the African Union Convention on Cybersecurity and Data Protection, which is called the Malabo Convention, and institute measures to guarantee girls' safety online. Despite efforts made by governments to address and narrow this gap, a lot still needs to be done in order to reach gender parity and equal access to ICT. It's therefore important to acknowledge the gender dimension and bias towards access to the use of ICT and ICT-related opportunities. As I conclude my opening remarks, I'd like to thank our panelists, girls and young women who lead us discussion on the theme. We should aim at building multi-stakeholder platforms for lobby, share experience, collectively call for measures that promote equal access to ICT. It's our joint responsibility to ensure that no girl is left behind in bridging the digital divide. We also need to ensure the safety of girls online. I'd like to reiterate Plan International's strong commitment to support, invest, and collaborate in efforts that guarantee girls equal access to ICT. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of deliberations. Thank you.
We really do appreciate you coming and those very kind words, the commitment by Plan International on issues to do with girls and young women. We really do appreciate. And you can see we have girls here and girls here. Talking of girls, so I know we have a lot of girls. So I want you, if you're a girl, please put it on the chat or in the Q&A and say, I am a girl and I'm proud to be a girl in ICT. So because we want to know the number of girls who have joined us today, because I know we invited girls from West Africa, from Central Africa, from East Africa, and we want to know who are among us. And if you have a question, please do not hesitate to put it in the Q&A section. Say, I'm a proud girl.
Juliet, we lost you.
Hello, Jenny. Jenny? Jenny, we can't hear you. Jenny, we can't hear you. Your audio is not...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
So I'm saying please write, I'm a proud girl in ICT. Thank you so much, Betty. Thank you so much, Atieno. Thank you so much. Thank you, girls. Because we want to know the number of girls who have joined us, because we know we have a lot of people who have joined us, but who among us are girls. I'm a proud girl in ICT. Thank you so much for joining us. So at this juncture, I just want to say I'm supposed to do opening remarks, but I'm speaking too much. So welcome.
Jenny, we can hear echoes.
So much to Plan International,
Jenny,
and the African.
Jenny, we can hear echo.
Team for this conversation, because for me it's very important. We wanted to have it last week, but it was not possible.
Jenny.
I'm going to welcome my co-moderator.
Just mute Jenny, please. Simply mute Jenny
in the next session, and then I'll come back later.
All right. Thank you so much, Jenny. And we did have quite a as young as 13 years, 17 years, 20 years, 21 years, young women doing really well and striving to make sure that they make a change and they join the ICT world. So indeed, we are happy to have you here from all corners. And just also to introduce our mentors, I'm going to just request them to open their screens at this particular juncture. Kindly open your screen. If you know you are a mentor, I am about to introduce you, and our girls need to see you. We need to see all those fantastic women that have gone before us and are trendsetters. Okay, and in doing so, when I introduce you, kindly wave. When I introduce you, kindly wave. Ida, I need to see your, yes, thank you, Golda. Thank you, Lily. Thank you. Ida and Dr. Margaret, I'll need to see your faces so that I introduce you to the girls. Okay, kindly, all right, if you can't just wave, but in case you're having internet challenges, it's fine, it's understood. So allow me to share with you a brief introduction of the mentors we have here today. We have Ida Ganga, who is the regional head, Anglophone countries at UNESCO Emerging Technologies for Development. She's also the founder of the award-winning Regional Consortium for Development, better known as RCD Africa. She really has a lot of accolades under her belt. She serves in a number of boards. She's actually the president of Women in STEM Leaders Network. She's also the president of the global president, actually, of Startup Innovation at the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade, the International Center of Enterprise Development, and the Global Peace Foundation hubs. And also, she's actually a co-chair of Internet for Development Global Community. And she's a former chairperson, membership and outreach standing committee in Kenya. She is also a mentor and has actually received many awards because of the spectacular work she's doing in the global space. She's got she's received awards such as the IoT Innovation Award by the European Union, the Global Women in Leadership Award, the African Leadership Top Award on Outstanding Mentor, Timeless Woman Governance Award, Africa Regional Internet Development Fellow, and she's quite prolific inside the United Nations and the Mara Foundation, just to mention a few. And then we also have, I hope you have all seen Ida. Ida, please wave to the girls. Thank you. And then we have Lily. Lily Edinam Botsoye. I'm really sorry if I get Botsoye wrong. But Lily currently works as a front-end developer. She is an aspiring tech policy analyst. I don't think she's aspiring. I think she has made it there. She's doing a lot of good stuff. And she is very much interested in women and youth inclusion, accessibility, and cyberspace. She coordinates the Ghana Youth Internet Governance Forum and is a member of the steering committee for the West Africa Youth Internet Governance Forum. Well, apparently outside this particular forum, those forums I've mentioned, she has a podcast called Pointers in 10, which shares nuggets on tech, career, and personal branding. So I hope to see this particular link to the podcast as we continue engaging with our girls so that we learn more from you beyond this particular discussion. And then we have Dr. Margaret Nyambura, who is the head of policy and regulation at Initiative for Digital Africa at the African Union. And she's actually an information scientist with over 15 years work experience in research and project management from work around with non-governmental organizations, private sector, and academia. She also holds a PhD in information systems, an MBA in management science, and a BSc in information sciences. And actually, she has done an impressive thesis, which is focused on the development outcomes of new technologies to the quality of life of low-income households in Kenya, and has combined two disciplines, that is information systems and development studies. Thank you so much, Dr. Margaret, for being with us here. And before I conclude, she has actually consulted for World Bank, International Trade Center, Research ICT Africa, AMREF, Kenya ICT authorities, among others, other ICT spaces. And last but not least is another very, very, very promising and very outstanding software engineer. Her name is Golda Kirote. She's the lead software Bring Global, and also does a lot of quality assurance there. And what does Golda really love? She loves building software and is involved in a lot of society problems aimed at improving the lives of people through technology. Since 15 years, I know some of you here have also had that voice calling you to pursue your dream careers. So imagine, since she was 15, she's been interested in programming and systematically always trying to figure out how to build more efficient and usable systems. She has learned, she knows how to code, she knows how to use JavaScript and all that lingo there is on technology. And yeah, we are really glad and happy to have Golda here with us today. So Golda, kindly wave to the girls. They'd like to see you. Thank you so much. So, wow. There's a lot of energy in the room and a lot of excitement to the girls. And, having read your journey to being the pioneers of ICT, women in ICT, as we've had with your particular bios, would like to know how your journey has been. All of you would really want to know, how has it been being a young woman, being a woman in the ICT field? What has been your journey like? If you could share, each one of you, in 3 minutes, how your journey has been if you are asked in this particular forum today. So kindly share that with us. I'll begin with Golda. Golda, kindly tell us, how has your journey been as an ICT expert?
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Goldan Kirote. I am the lead quality assurance engineer at Kala, as well as a Scrum Master. Previously, I was working as a consultant at the Capital Bank of Jordan. We were doing a project for Capital Bank of Jordan, who is the mother bank for the National Bank of Iraq. So I kind of worked with the two banks. My journey started when I was pretty young, when I was very young, when I was in high school. I was very interested in learning how to code, and I got an opportunity because I went to Maryhill. There was a club known as technovation. So basically we'd come up with ideas, and then we'd have like guys from university, maybe JQuat or UON, come and build out ideas. They're the ones who used to write the code. And I used to be very interested. I used to like what they're doing. And I was like, this is what I wanted to do. So I finished high school, and it was time to go to university. And luckily, I wasn't called for the course that I wanted to do, a course in computer science. I was called for medical engineering. I had no idea what medical engineering was all about. I was like, you know what, I'll do it. I was very good at math and physics. So I just used to pass because I can, because I'm brilliant, especially in math and physics. But when I realized that I'm just running a blind race, I was passionate about this. I couldn't see myself even in a field in medical engineering. That's when I decided to drop out. And I really wanted to become a software engineer, but I didn't know how to do it. So I said, I'm going to do other stuff as I try and get money to go to Harvard. Like, I was trying to hustle to take myself to Harvard or MIT. I don't know what job at that time I could do. So I started by being a model. I was a model, and then I was a choreographer. I used to train guys how to dance. And then when I was doing all this, I was still trying to network with guys in tech. My mentor, who has walked with me this whole journey for over 6 years, her name is Sharon Gatana. So she was like, just try out stuff. Just try even to be an intern. You learn on the job. So I started my first job at KCB as an integration consultant intern. So I was learning about integration, that is data integration. And then I decided, like, I really wanted to be a software engineer. So at that time, with the small money I had gotten, I took myself to Moringa School. I graduated from Moringa School, and then that's when my career really, really started on a high note. I worked for Britam. When I was at Britam, I was a data engineer. And the one thing about my journey that I have really done, I have tried out things, I have tried out stuff until I knew what is really good for me. So I tried being a data engineer, and I was like, no, it wasn't really for me. It's very exciting, and I was able to understand what it's all about, but it wasn't for me. Then that's when I was interested about, I wanted to go back into being a software engineer, but this time as a quality assurance engineer. Basically, what I do is I test products before they're rolled out. And I'm very passionate about seeing things in the way they're supposed to be. If we had designed it to be this way, it should be this way by the time we're rolling out, and that we are actually solving a problem. What we're building has actually solved the problem. So I started out at NCBA as a quality assurance engineer. And then from NCBA, I moved to I&M Bank. From I&M Bank, I didn't stay at I&M for such a long time. It was like 2 months. And then that's when I got the job consulting for Capital Bank of Jordan and National Bank of Iraq. It was very exciting. It was truly exciting. And from then on, I have literally learned on the job being a quality assurance engineer. It's basically learning on the job. And if you listen to my story, mostly I have been in banking all my life. Like, I've built my career, known technology and nitty-gritties, especially in the banking industry. And then that is when I decided to apply at Color. And it's been an exciting journey, and it still is. And it's amazing. Yeah, that's my story.
Wow. I'm sure we can all agree that that's quite an interesting episode. I mean, from just being interested, missing something you really wanted to pursue, landing in a totally different course, but navigating your way through what you really wanted to be right now, where you really wanted to be right now. It's quite inspirational. And really, it's just for us as young girls to understand that sometimes the opportunities don't close forever. It's actually a handle that you can bypass and achieve what you really want. So allow me to also introduce Lily. Lily, in 3 minutes, tell us, how has your journey been like? We also are very interested to know how you became who you are today.
Exactly. Hi, everyone, and good morning from Accra, Ghana. My name is Lily, and in Accra, we say Akwaba. Akwaba is chief for you're welcome. So, Akwaba, everyone. Right. So, it's interesting because just like Golda, we have one part that looks alike, and that is with quality assurance and testing. So, I'm moving from where the journey started from briefly through to where I got a bit of realizations and things that have been helpful for me on my journey, and currently to where I am. So when I began, I think for me in my house, my dad started calling, I'm a twin. So my twin sister is more of a math person. I do more science, and I'm able to, get the grades across the subjects. So my dad started calling me doctor. So when we were very young, I think from 11, they started calling me doctor in the house, and my sister was called accountant. She's still called accountant. Till date, I still want to do something like a PhD so that the doctor tag on me maybe it's valuable. I don't know. My dad still calls me doctor, and I'll tell you why. So because we're excelling in our subjects, and we had a bit of liking to science and math, and we're excelling in those places, our parents already had thoughts in their mind as to what they wanted us to be. So you know what happens in homes. You're good, and so everybody wants you to be in the popular areas, the law, the medicine, the health. All those industries. And then my dad worked hard, and at the time you could see what he was doing, and he got us a 95 computer, and he had the Windows 95, and he used to give us, that was like our encouragement or like our award for when we do good stuff in the house. So you get about 30 minutes to play Minesweeper or what's the other game? Pinball on the computer when you do something good in the house. So those are the times that we used to explore the computer in the house for the both of us. And it was interesting because we thought, what was the reason why this particular square was giving us visuals and able to make some sounds, and we're fascinated. Then we left junior high school and we're entering into the senior high school, and there I went to read general science, but that was my intention was to do general science. For some reason, when the admission came out, I was given general arts, and I was supposed to read geography, economics, and what's the other one? There's another third one that was actually literally arts for me. So I went into the class and I did it for 1 year. It was interesting. But I told myself that I think I really want to do the sciences. And I used to borrow books from my friends in the chemistry class to learn. And so you find me at the break time and as an art student reading chemistry and biology. And then when we were entering the second term in my first year, I told my senior house mistress that I wanted to go to the science class. And if she could, she should just put me on a term and see if I would excel or not. So I went to the class, I excelled, and I never came back to the art class, and I was in the sciences. Now, getting into the university, we're supposed to fill forms, and we had somebody at the desk saying that you're good in science, so pick medicine, pick pharmacy, pick this. And everybody was actually following. At the time, we didn't have phones to call our parents to really have lengthy chats because this was boarding house. So that is one bit I saw that really, changed the course of everything I wanted to do. So I chose medicine, I chose pharmacy, I chose computer science, and there's a last one. Now, in that year, Ghana was trying to change the senior high school system from 4 years to 3 years. And so in that year, we had 2-year groups writing at the same time to enter into the university. So there were massive numbers entering into the university. I didn't get into medical school. I didn't get into pharmacy school. My third choice was computer science, and that was what I got into. So I entered the class, and the first thing we were taught was C++. And when we were taught C++, you would wonder what was happening, because on the board, everything seemed so strange and seemed so far-fetched. So then I just thought to myself, how about I move to a place where I think that I could do a bit more reading? So I picked the form and I wrote that I wanted to move to the biochemistry class. And when I went to the office, my department head said he was not allowing me to, and wanted me to speak some more to him to understand why I wanted to move. Then my dad called me right after school, and he said after class that day, and for some reason he said he was listening to somebody on radio, and she's teaching girls how to code, and he thinks it's very good. So he wants me to look her up on the internet and see what she's doing. So to myself, I thought, okay, fine. If I think this is hard and I want to change, let me just read about this lady and see how I can gather some inspiration for myself. So I read about her, and It turned out that my C++ TA was actually her co-founder. I asked for a contact number, I put her on the page, and I put other ladies so that we could be able to ask her questions after school. And that, for me, changed the story. I got motivation every day after class. That was a mentorship for me as a girl in STEM. I could see the blueprint of her journey, appreciate where she had gone to, the failures, the hardship, and how she was able to overcome. And that was enough for me. And I've not looked back. So for me, it was a mentorship. It was somebody able to show me what she had done and the things that I can envision on the way, and then how I can work through it. So right after school, I entered into network operations, and I was a network operations officer. I was actually the only female out of 8 people. So 7 males and 1 female. It was interesting. Many a times you'd have to do the double roles. You talk about it. You do whatever you're going to do. Still write the notes, prepare for meetings and everything. And then I moved from there to system testing. So I did UAT, I did automated test, and what we're working on were health systems. There were 3 of them, and currently one of them is used for contact tracing here in Ghana for COVID. So I moved from there, which is the network operations, to system testing, and then I'm doing front-end development now. Then I did fellowship with the Internet Society. I did other works and volunteering. In fact, for my journey, it's been mentorship and volunteering a lot. So I did those things, and I found an interest in reading about things and trends. And I found when I was selected as a fellow in 2018 for the Internet Society Youth Fellow in 2018, we're sent to Paris. We're taught about cybersecurity and trends on the internet. So I found how interesting things were with regards the reason why we have the internet and how everybody can play a part in shaping it. And that's where my journey into the IGF space and also coordinating youth IGFs in Ghana and West Africa was really started. And then I got the interest in tech policy because you would really want to see what could be, or what would be, and really engage in very different conversations with different stakeholders to see how you can marry their ideas and together build something that is inclusive for everyone. So that has been my journey so far, and I'm excited to share some more later on in the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lily. I think our moderator, our able moderator, Juliet, had dropped off. Next on the line. You're here? Oh, there you go.
Thank you so much.
Juliet, go ahead.
Yeah, so next is not Imelda, sorry. I was talking to someone called Imelda. It's Ida. Ida, actually, I'm with Ida in a couple of groups, and she called me. And she is known across Africa because of her work in empowering young girls on ICT. She sits in UNESCO Youth Council. She advises with ITU. You know, she has this amazing experience and this amazing network on girls and young women and empowering. Her passion is just to empower young women, and we call her mentor Ida. So Ida, please just tell us your journey and why people actually call you. I would really want to know, because even myself, I don't know why you're called mentor Ida. Ida?
Thank you so much. You can hear me clearly, right, Jennifer?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. That was a great introduction, really. And I wouldn't be more proud, not only of the organizers of this forum, but also of you, because I've seen you grow from strength to strength. Amazing. I'm really, really proud of you. Keep it up. You're a wonderful example to these ladies on this call. And I always like to see a living example, a testimony when we talk about something, so that it's not just about theory. So ladies, Jennifer here, I'll talk about her later on, but her journey has been long and she does not give up. Resilience is one of the things that I'm going to be talking about later on, and it's one of the things that has guided my path. So I really understand this kind of journey. It's never easy in the beginning. So I'd like to encourage all of you, because you're going to get where you want to go as long as you identify it and you don't give up. Because in the beginning for me, I actually come from an engineering and a tech family. I'm the only girl, and I have 3 brothers, and my father is also an engineer. But when I was in school, when I was young, I did not want to go into technology. I did not want to go into engineering, because, you just don't want to do what people want you to do. And I'm a very stubborn person, and probably that's because of the background of growing up with boys. You don't want them to rule you. You want to create your own space. So yes, hanging out with boys is not a challenge. I would advise you to use it as an opportunity, because it will push you to want to create your own space. And on top of that, it makes you not fearful at all. Because when you're living with them, you actually realize that you're better than them at other things, and they're better than you in other things, and it's just normal. So these things that you hear out here, oh, girls are better than this, boys in this, and also boys are better than girls in this and that. It just becomes something which it's for me, I never even, it was really not a no-brainer. It didn't bother me. That's why I would encourage you, instead of avoiding the guys, hang out with them. Actually, they can be a lot of fun. And on top of that, if they challenge you, because it's always about, when I was growing up in the house, there was always a challenge. I always ended up getting hurt. But for me, it was fun. My father didn't like that at all, because he really whipped those boys. But for me, it taught me what they can do, I can also do. And it took time, because the challenges were sometimes you're jumping over some really high, from a very high level to a low level and things like that. But because they're doing it and there's no one else to tell you that you cannot, you do it. And this is the kind of, I want you to have that kind of attitude. Just be with people who are doing things, and you will find out you will not have a mindset that you cannot do it, because they are already doing it. So as I said, I did not want to go into technology or engineering at all when I was growing up. When I went to university, I actually did public policy and governance. And also I had a liking for languages. I was doing French, I was doing Arabic, I was just doing a lot of stuff. For me, university was just an exploring thing. It was not really to get a career. It was just, what happens in this place and what kind of interesting things are going on. Well, my love for tech, well, at home we used to code, and we used to build things as well, because my father used to say, I remember we had a saying, start finding out, because there was a book called Start Finding Out. It was just about projects. You just do a lot of science projects, you do engineering projects, it doesn't matter. But it's fun, and you don't know you're learning. So I realized later on I had learned a lot. And when I went out and started getting an interest, because you see, when you are in a space where you need something, you have to learn it. I would encourage you to put yourself in a situation where you need technology. Let's say you need to create your own database. Wouldn't you have to learn the skills? All right? I want you to put yourself in a situation where you have no choice but to learn. Now we are in a world of COVID. We have no choice but to have digital skills. So you can see that now it's not a matter of how old you are. Whether you're old 70 or 17, you need these skills. That is the best situation to learn, because believe me, even in a week, you can get the skills. So as I said, later on, I went into technology. I love tech because we used to have so many meetups. I used to go for meetups even when I was at university. I just love the vibe. I love that we help each other. I love that we share things. It's very different from other communities. There's no selfishness, because if I share something with you, I'll probably create something better because you'll give me feedback. So do you understand why it's so exciting being in the tech community? It's not about me, because you cannot do it alone. It's about, if you add to me, together we create something more awesome. And since technology is so fast, it changes every day, you have to collaborate. And that is why I would like to encourage all of you. My story is too long. If I talked about the organizations I have worked for, you would be like, okay, how did you get in there? Did you have a sponsor? But I just want to say that most of the things I was not sponsored by any man or even woman. I built networks. I just built relationships. And this is the one skill that they're not teaching us in STEM, because I'm the president for Women in STEM. So I know the challenges that we have as women in STEM. We focus so much on the technical part of it. We don't build the skills of relationship building, and yet people want to communicate and to hang around people they trust and people they like. So you might be the best, and I know some of you here are the best, even in class or something. Maybe not even in tech, it might be another area. Now you're interested in tech. You're probably going to be very good at it. The ones who are in tech are doing brilliantly. You've heard the ladies. But you have to remember, network building is about people, is about trust and whether people like you or not. So I'm going to be talking more about that later on to help you get a head start on some of these skills. Thank you, and yeah, God bless. Stay on the call.
Thank you so much, Ida. Wow, that's quite powerful. And the ability for us to, navigate through not just taking out of when you go to school, not just learning the technical bit, but also investing in relationships that can get you in some of these platforms that where ICT decisions are made and things like that. That is quite interesting to learn from you, Ida. Thank you so much. And I'd also like to invite Dr. Margaret. Dr. Margaret, how has been your journey? In 3 minutes, if you could just share with us how yours has been. Has it been different? Is ICT something you wanted to do from childhood, or did you come to learn to love it along the way? Would like to hear from you. And if you can kindly, would love to see you. So just put your video on.
Thank you very much, Julia. Thank you very much to all the panelists. Quite unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. I don't know whether you can hear the rains. I'm actually even worried that my connectivity may not last for long. Those are the challenges I'm facing at the moment. But I can share a video where I can share a link where you can see me, all of you. And I really apologize that I'm not able to put my video on. It's quite amazing to be in this panel of really inspiring young women and learning quite a lot, different experiences from all the angles. Probably just to tell you, just to let you know about Pridaya. I see you have put the picture. At least you can see me. My full names are Margaret Nyambura Ndongo. And currently I'm working for this project called PRIDA. For those who may not have the full name, is the Policy and Regulation Initiative for Digital Africa. And this is a project for the African Union in partnership with the European Union and the International Telecommunication Union. And the whole idea of this project is to support connectivity across the continent, but then also in terms of broadband and ensuring universal access at all parts of the region. We are also looking at harmonization of policies and legislations. Again, every country is coming up with its own legislations, policies, and the like. We need to harmonize as a continent. And the final part is internet governance, which is my core area of activity within PRIDA, and I'll be discussing more about that in this term of capacity building in the ICT space. I'm also a member of Communications and Multimedia Appeals Tribunal. That's a tribunal that when you as girls, someone has done something to you online that you'd want justice done, you come to the tribunal and we are able to investigate and find out what is happening and come up with the best solutions for that, or recommendations. The Communications Authority, the mobile operators, the journalists, they all come to us and we discuss their grievances and we come up with a common understanding within the ICT sector. Going back to your question, my journey in this ICT world, I was born and grew up in a very remote part of this country. It is in Molo, Kerisoi, and that's why I went to school. From a very humble beginning, my parents were teachers. My mom, a primary school teacher, who has been quite a motivator to me because he went up to class 7 during those years. And when I used to do my assignments, my maths and the like, we struggled together. And I think that was quite encouraging and it gave me the morale. After my primary school, I went to a secondary school, Olenguruni, again, very remote part of the country. I remember when it used to rain, we used to go using tractors. There were no public transport that would be available to go to that place. But again, I survived. And in that school, being we used to call them Harambee schools. I don't know the term for those who are not in Kenya. So basically, those are schools that you are not sure that you'll have teachers all through the term. And I remember we in Form 2, Form 3, we didn't have a chemistry teacher, we didn't have physics teacher. Other subjects you'll find like mathematics, our teacher was the headmaster, who we have really kept in touch up to date, because with all his other activities, he was really able to dedicate time and ensure we excelled. Actually, from that background, mathematics, I had an A in school, which was amazing because considering the circumstances and the like, and I qualified to go to the to Moi University. Again, that was many years. From the faces I've seen here, I think most of you are born 90s and the like, and those are the years that I was in campus. So basically, during that time, I joined Moi University. There was no career guidance, there was no ICTs at that point. So basically, it is a trial and error. And I remember when I was selecting my courses to go to university, I had no guidance at all. But somehow I knew I wanted to do something to do with information. And that's when I saw information sciences. I was like, wow, I don't know what this is, but I'll go and try. And I went to Moi University, and information science, it had 4 major areas you could major in. There was library, there was publishing, there was information technology, and there was archives and record management. So, and in school, I remember it used to be quite amazing because, again, we are divided into 2 groups. There are those who majored in sciences and those who did arts in first year. And I took the bold move and I went to do sciences. And our place there used to be Chepkoilel. And in sciences, you are doing mathematics, you are doing physics, you are doing all those STEM subjects. It was challenging with all these people from Alaya School, from Starehe. They had already been introduced to computers. I had not been introduced to computers. But again, I continued. I cleared after 4 years. But during second year, at the end of second year and third year, there was internship. And in that internship, I went to a company called Diamond Systems. Again, for those who have been in the IT for long, that was a main company in the 90s, in the early 90s. So Diamond Systems, they used to assemble computers. And luckily, I was put in the engineering department or in the workshop, used to call it workshop. That's where when a computer has a problem, you sort it out, you open the motherboard, you fix it. The other people we were working with were pure engineers, so they will solder the motherboard. They'll do everything that needs to be done in a computer. And with that, it motivated me. And luckily, again, the university extended for a while, so I was able to continue working. And, they were paying us 2,000 shillings at the end of the month. And trust you me, that was a lot of money. It was money to keep you there. And what I want to say to you who are young people, sometimes at this point, you may say, 2,000? No, I'm not going to work for that money. Remember, it's not the money you're working for. You are building your career. You are building your CV at this point. Because by the time I cleared campus, Africa Online was just starting and they needed to hire people. And what they did, they went to all the universities and they recruited a week before I finished campus. And I remember for me, when we closed campus, I didn't even go home. I just passed by home to come and work. And why did I get that job? Not because I had really done very well for my academic work, but because my CV had something. It was very clear I had worked in Diamond Systems. And again, something I forgot. When I was still in Moi, and just before I joined Moi, there was tribal clashes in 1992, for those who remember, 1991, 1992. And my family was really affected. And of course, we didn't have a home after that. So basically, when I was in campus, the first semester, I didn't know where to go. I didn't have a home. And because of that, I started working in the university. And there was this professor who was doing research. And what he did, every time he had some work, he will give me to start typing for him and the like. And that's how I learned typing, which was a good skill. Mark you, he wasn't paying me again. It is those of like, you're just saying, I have no options. I don't want to go to a place where you don't know where to go. So I just persevered, and I was able to learn typing. I was able to learn how to do research and the like. And those were very useful skills for me much later. So after which I joined African Online. I again, as Aida has said, it would be challenging to mention all the organizations I've worked for. But basically, after African Online, I was employed for about 10 years, after which I went into consultancies. And when I was in my consultancy, after I had done my master's, I realized again, when you write a proposal and you want to look for funding and the like, sometimes they want to look at the qualifications, and it doesn't matter how good you are. If you want to get into research work, sometimes you may need to get the title. And that's how I realized I was doing a lot of research work, but for some strange reasons, you'll find your name is the second or the third, simply because there is a professor somewhere, so their name will come first and the like. And that's how I got motivated, and I said, let me go and do my PhD. And doing my PhD, I was working. At first, I didn't have a scholarship. So it is a situation where you're like, should I first wait to get a scholarship before I do my PhD, or should I start my PhD and I'll get a scholarship later? So interestingly, I started doing my PhD, and 1 year down the line, I got a scholarship. And again, amazingly, that scholarship, when they said, oh, we have some money, we can support your research work, we can support your field work and the like, starting from first year. And I said, I've already paid for my first year, now I'm in second year. And they told me, no, we can even refund for first year. So again, I ended up getting a full scholarship from a combination of IDRC and University of Nairobi. So again, the message here is start. Don't say, I do not have money, I do not have this. Whatever you want to do, just start it and now start sorting out how to achieve that. Another thing is focus. Because for my PhD, the stories I had had is that doing a PhD at the University of Nairobi, no, you'll take forever. You'll take 10 years. And there are all kind of stories of how people have taken a very long time to do their PhD. For me, I took exactly 32 months to do my PhD. And what made this happen? First of all, once you decide this is what you need to do, understand, and that's where the network comes in. And the AIDA, that was very good. You talked about network, understanding people and the like. The moment I started doing my PhD, I understood my supervisors very, very well. And I had to tune myself to their timings. Because most people, what they do, they say, I want to do my PhD, but my supervisor is very bad because of ABCD. Don't get into that kind of talk. The moment you decide to do something, assume you have no any negative information. Focus on the positive information. Create your own positivity in whatever you are doing. And so after that, I cleared my PhD. I went to South Africa for 2 years to do a postdoc with the Tsone University of Technology. And I also taught at the University of Nairobi, where I still teach part-time. And I supervise a student in Tsone University of Technology. And in that, one thing again, you notice, I teach computer science at the University of Nairobi. And you'll notice there are very few girls. And even the girls who are there, you can almost sense some lack of seriousness. And I think it's probably because of negative influence and the like. So again, I don't want to bring a lot of negativity here. What I want to say is that encourage each other. Know that if your sister succeeds, it's like you succeeding. Move together. We need more of you. We need more of girls in the ICT space. We need diversity. We need data science is a very good area, and cybersecurity again is another key area. And we are lacking women in these areas. And looking at our African context and what is happening, we are all online now. Women, we are the care taker. We take care of our children and the like. If we do not understand what happened within the ICT industry, within the cyber security sector, then we will be lost as a continent, as a people, and we need to be part of that. So I think for now, I leave at that. And thank you, Juliet.
Thank you so much, Dr. Margaret. Wow. I think the one overarching story that we're hearing from all our mentors is resilience. That sometimes you may have the passion while you're young. Sometimes it morphs into something significant or into a passion along the way as you know you're growing up in life. And one thing that's for sure, there is always an obstacle. That's one thing we've heard from all the panelists here. You will find yourself in a situation where you have to make a choice on whether to pursue your passion. You have to face discrimination, like we've had Dr. Margaret talk about that kind of discrimination she could face because she had not acquired the PhD status, and seeing how she navigated through all. So we need to have that resilience in us as young people to be able to pursue what we really want in life. And I would like to take this moment to ask a very simple question that one of the girls asked. These are questions actually coming from the girls. We asked them before this particular panel discussion, and they asked very interestingly. One, and I want to pose this one to Ida. We've been here talking about ICT in general and things like that. But in 1 minute, what is ICT? What would you define as ICT, Ida? Ida?
I was saying, Juliet.
Yes.
I was saying that that I'm not going to go into the textbook definition.
No,
because you can Google that for yourselves.
Yes.
But I like the question because it shows interest. And for me, interest is the number one, the only thing actually you need in order to get into any field. Just interest. You don't need a high IQ. You don't even need a strong support system at that point. You just need the interest and the passion. So ICT is, of course, information and communication technology. So that means that all these tools that are being used are to do with information, definitely improving or enhancing information, communication, and definitely the basis for the channel that is being used is technology. So in other words, I think it's for you, just try and think of yourself as someone like an inventor. You are sitting in your house right now, maybe you're in your bedroom, maybe you're in your sitting room, and you want to communicate with me, but I'm not near you. And it forces you to be in a situation where you have to develop something that can actually send a message to me. Now, this is how information communication technologies, all of them started that way. It was just a matter of sending information from point A to point B. Now, maybe in other mentoring sessions, we are going to discuss how if you start thinking like this, there's a lot of things you can also invent or innovate in your own house. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ida. I think one thing I'm picking is that you have to, being able to move things from point one to B, and the aspect of bringing in the creative mind, innovation, having to try something new is actually what really drives ICT. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And I don't know if we have Volian. Is Volian with us here today? We have a young girl called Volian. Has anyone seen Volian in the room? Volian had a very interesting question. Keith, are you able to see Volian in the room?
No, Juliet, unfortunately, I'm not able to see Volian. I can only see two hands, though, from Constance and Lauren.
Yeah, unfortunately, okay, I got that. But once she joins us, she'll be able, she's our youngest girl, she's 13 years old, and I really wanted her to be the one asking this question. She really raised it with me, but I wanted to ensure that she's the one asking this particular question. But however, allow me to step in for her. And this question is directed to Lily and Golda. Maybe we'll begin with Lily. How does ICT add value to the lives of girls and young women? When you are trying to enter into this field, and as now when you're in this field, what value addition has it made into your life?
Interesting. So we want to just make this very clear that for every girl, if you have interest in, say, the arts, health, transport, any industry you find yourself, it's possible to use ICT there to augment the work you do or to make your work efficient and productive. Now, this is because over the world, ICT has just moved from just being what we used to know or what we thought it was, like programming, like coding alone. It has moved and taken different shapes, turns, and in different fields that you can really make use of to build your interest and your passion. So like how we've heard from the other ladies, they've had to move from one point to another and they've had to pivot and reskill or upskill. And you wonder how they were able to do that. Aside just going to school, they had resources that allowed them to be able to explore. So the first one for you, the value that ICT gives you is opportunity to learn, the opportunity to explore and also even collaborate with people and build a professional network. I tell people that when you're entering a space, right, one of the skills you need to enter and flourish in the space is technical skills. So if you want to be in an ICT space, what skills are you picking so that employers or people who are engaging you will be able to appreciate the value you're bringing to the team? Or even for yourself, if you are an entrepreneur, how are you able to gather the skills to shape what you're doing? So first, ICT would help you build the technical skills. Then we come to when you're in the space and you're going up the ladder, there's something called the interpersonal skills. So in there, you're able to facilitate lifelong networks, even lifelong learning also. And there are social media platforms that you don't just use because there are spaces, but these are tools for you to explore. So if you're looking to make or build professional networks, there's LinkedIn for you. Who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to reach out to? Then if you want to build a community around something you're passionate about or advocacy or a campaign you're running, you could look to something like Facebook. And that's how you can really use ICT for good. And that's the value it puts for you. Then there are other ways we can look at ICT from there's a profit bit of you making money to maybe if you're blogging, to maybe if you're rendering some services like digital marketing for people, you can also create or use ICT to value yourself and your community. And that's where it's true impact. Like I mentioned early on, you can do advocacy and campaign around issues that you're passionate about and rally support from all over the world for you to be able to get some results. So you can make money online through ICT and you building up skills. And you can also impact not just you, but your friends. And then you're able to also communicate with people regardless of your geographic locations and to find opportunities to explore and also build and communicate with them. Then because there are many things and there's a fast changing trend in ICT. In fact, this particular trend is actually can be viewed in both parts. But let me talk about the positive here. Because this field is very fast changing, you'll be able to think creatively and innovatively because you exploited something and one time it's changing and you can find another way to work it through because there's another addition that has come through ICT to help you augment your effort. So all these are the things or the values that ICT will give to you as a girl. And you don't have to sit in your corner and wonder how you're going to get it when you have the internet, when you have access to a phone. Now in our Southbridge, you want to even look at even if you have it. So this is where we do the advocacy bit for people, for people to be connected and for resources to be made available for girls to make the most out of it. Then when we're talking about the benefit, there's a way we can look at it and say, well, people normally think that the compromise for you being connected is the cybersecurity or privacy, but no, the threats online should not prevent anyone from being online. And that's why we teach about cybersecurity, we teach about you being digitally literate, so you can be able to protect yourself and benefit fully from what you do as an online user or a netizen. So these are the benefits you get from you using the internet: the communication, the collaboration, the learning, the ability to use it to make your everyday activities better. All those are the values that ICT places on you. And now there's even the invest of YouTube. You can learn almost anything at the comfort of your home and make money or impact from wherever.
Thank you so much, Lily. There's a lot we've picked from you in terms of what value it brings to the girls. It's learning, it's exploring, it's earning money, it's creating impact, it's passing on messages on things that you're so passionate about. And I would like to hear anything else that we have missed out in terms of the kind of value addition ICT brings to girls from Golda. Golda, what have we missed out in terms of value addition?
Oh my God, Lily has explained so much that I also had prepared. Like she was saying something and I'm taking it off. I'm like, that was amazing. The one and most important that she might have left out is the skill of problem solving. As a woman, if you have a skill in problem solving, you're like a Wonder Woman. It's because people are not just paying for technical skills, they're paying for people who can be able to provide solutions. And you will notice it will not just be in your day-to-day work, in your work, in your career, but also like as soon as you're a lady in tech and you are a problem solver and you're always offering solutions, even in your day-to-day lives, like when in the midst of your friends, if there's a problem, you are quick to find a solution, not to build up on the problem like most people. You're very quick to find a solution. So yeah, problem solving is the other thing.
Thank you so much, Golda. Wow. Indeed, we need to have solving skills at whatever levels in our lives, because, like all of you have mentioned, we'll always find challenges. I'd like to move over to Betty. We have another young woman in the room. I really hope Betty is with us. Betty had a very powerful question. Keith, confirm if Betty is in the room. I know I saw her with us. If she's dropped off internet, please let me know. Betty. Okay, there you go, Betty.
Allowed to talk.
Thank you so much, Betty. What's the question you really wanted to ask our women mentors today? And who are you posing it to? Unmute your microphone. Yes, there you go.
Hello.
Yes, Betty. What's the question you wanted to ask?
Golda. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
I was asking for some of us who would want to pursue a career in data science. I would like to understand the nexus between specialization and data science.
And who do you want to ask to?
To Golda. I would like her to explain it to me so I can understand the nexus between specialization and data science.
Okay, so when you start doing a data science course, you first of all learn the basics of data science, because data science is an interdisciplinary field. From data science, we break it down to machine learning engineering, data engineering, statistical analysis, data architecture. So data science is like a bracket, and then there are other disciplines that come from it. And mostly what data scientists do, they work with huge amounts of data and try and give information. There's difference between data and information. So information is meaningful information. The way from all the data people have been gathering about COVID, you can be able to see trends. That is a specificity for a statistical analysis. Yes. So Those are people who mostly they analyze patterns and trends in data. So I don't know if I've answered your question. I felt like I just explained data science, but if you do a data science course, you just literally get to have an overview of different interdisciplinary, and then you make the decision according to your interest, your skills, on which disciplinary to branch to. There's so many disciplinaries. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Betty, did you have another question you want to ask one of our panelists too?
For now, I'm good.
Okay, fantastic. I know there was another question still from one of the girls and young women in the room, and they wanted to know what is really artificial intelligence and how does that work? We all hear artificial intelligence right, left, and center. And how does that the future being around artificial intelligence, and would like to know, as girls, as young women, what is this whole new phenomenon, and how does that affect our lives? And I would request Golda again? No, Ida. Ida, if you could answer that for us.
Okay. Yeah, and I can see the ladies here are going into the deep end when probably they should be starting with the most basic of ICTs. But yeah, it's always very exciting. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, it's always very exciting. Okay, it's always very exciting to see that people are interested in emerging technologies. Okay, for me, maybe what I would like to explain when it comes to most emerging technologies are not really new, and artificial intelligence is not new. What you might find is new is probably the application of it. For me, let me speak from an ICT for development background, meaning that the kind of research that we do is to explore how these technologies can be used for developmental purposes, meaning that how they can be used for good and how they can be used for increased social impact. So in the case of the technology itself, probably someone else is going to explain, because when it comes to the actual tech skills, I'm more of an IoT person because I built an IoT system for agricultural management. But what we have all the emerging technologies is the opportunity for it to that you're already using. For AI, let me just use something simple. You have facial recognition, don't you? Is there anyone who uses an iPhone here? Or you're going to start laughing? Oh, Lily, excuse me. All right. Okay, for all of the rest of us Android people, no, it's all right. I'm just joking. Android is great. I mean, any operating system is great. You can also learn the skills to contribute to some of these technologies, especially this. There are so many Android community meetups, and I believe that everything is an opportunity. So facial recognition is an example of artificial intelligence. It means that when, for example, you turn on your phone, for example, Lily would have shown us an example that her phone cannot actually come on. Maybe let me just make it very, very simple in terms of ways that even a child could understand, unless that the phone has recognized it is really her it's really she is the one who is operating the phone. So what the phone is doing is actually reading her facial features. And you might ask, but how can a machine do that? And that is why probably Golda was going deep earlier on and saying that there's a lot to learn before you even start getting into artificial intelligence, because machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data science, all of them work hand in hand. And this is because artificial intelligence uses large data sets, and that is why data science comes in handy. Because for all this information to be grouped and for it and actually inputted into the machine, and for the machine to be able to read and say this is indeed Lily, it's because it has taken a huge sample, and a bigger sample, probably 98% of the samples are showing that this is indeed Lily, even though maybe a smaller percentage shows that it's not. So that is in a very simple way, if you want to understand just like a child, because this is the way to approach learning. In technology, we say approach it, or even as with curiosity, as if you know nothing, because you might see an angle that even some of these leaders here have not seen. So just look at it as the machine has learned something new, but it took human beings to input this data in order for the machine to be able to constantly improve on its identification or of its analysis of the situation that it's being called upon to analyze. I hope that is clear. You can also ask further questions so that Lily, Golda, and Margaret and I can give living examples, actual examples, which is the best way to learn.
Thank you so much, Ida. Really, thank you. And I see hands already going up. Keep your hands up, please. I'm going to give you the chance to pose the questions to our mentors today. So don't tire from lifting your hand. I'll call out your name, don't worry. We are just about to ask the last question to the mentors, the pre-prepared questions, and then we'll open up the floor, the audience, for all of you to ask any other questions that didn't make it to the preliminary questions. So allow me to, I think we have Violina here with us now. Violina, the 13-year-old, yes, she can ask the final question that we had pre-prepared. Violina, who do you want to pose the final questions to? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good to have you here. Finally, we've missed you. We've missed your voice. So tell us, what's the last question you'd like to ask one of our mentors?
Okay. This goes to Margaret. What kind of work has the African Union done to promote ICT education for girls? And how can girls and young women participate in decision-making processes at the AU on ICT?
Wow, thank you very much, Cecilia. Quite very, very encouraging to see young girls really wanting to be focused and plan ahead. So in regard to your question, at the African Union, there are quite a number of initiatives that is geared towards promotion of not just girls, but also the young people in general. And starting with the digital transformation strategy that was just finalized and now is being implemented, we are working on a very extensive education work plan that has a major focus on young girls, I must say that, in the realization of the fact that with all this connectivity, with all what is happening, then there are other issues that would emerge. And we, as a continent, there's a lot that is put on the shoulders of women, young girls, and the like. And we realize that if we do not really focus on their education, and more so in the ICT sector, then it will be a challenge. So that is coming. Again, another initiative that is under the Department of Human Resources, Science and Technology within African Union is that they have been working on issues to do with promotions of girls to continue education, especially during this COVID time. Statistics showed that most girls, due to one reason or the other, they were not able to go back to school. And the whole idea is to start encouraging them, to give them some innovative things to do. And I know with the launch of Africa Educator that was launched last year in September 2020, and again, you can Google that in the internet, but I'll also post it in the chat so that you see the link. They have called or they have asked young people, young students to apply and submit, whether it is a video, whether it is a blog, whether it's an article, whether it's a poem, photography and music, a kind of competition, and young girls are really encouraged to participate in that. And the reason for that is to keep them busy and focused in education work. The other initiative probably I'll mention is the training we are doing under the Internet Governance of the PRIDA, which is Policy and Regulatory Initiative for Digital Africa. Last year, we targeted to educate or to build capacity of young people in 23 countries. And why did we choose 23 countries? Because a study we did, we realized out of the 55 African Union member states, 23 do not have a school of internet governance, or they have never held an IGF, Internet Governance Forum. And it is within the Internet Governance Forums that issues of cybersecurity, issues of internet and development, internet and law, internet and economics, culture, and the like, all those things are discussed within the Internet Governance Forum and application of what is happening in the cyberspace in our daily lives. And in that recognition, we are building capacity in terms of people who can handle ICT, who can do ICT and law and the related aspect of it. And we have a curriculum. And this curriculum, which now we have rolled in 9 countries last year, and we target to do that in 9 again this year, as a criteria to get the students, 50% of the students must be below the age of 30. And again, 50% of the participants must be women. And the reason for that is to ensure that we are doing deliberately, purposely, because sometimes, and this is a challenge, that there is a call and you find girls don't apply, women don't apply. And we keep on reapplying. We keep on saying we need to get 50-50 to ensure that we accommodate that. The second question you asked is how women can, how young women can participate in decision-making process of the African Union on ICT. The first step, learn, get to understand ICT, get to know what is happening. And in so doing, you need also to network. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have if you are not networking. And again, Ida really stressed on this. Get the knowledge. After that, network. Get to know people who are doing various things at the national level. Because in most of the time, you'll find they do have competitive positions that you can apply as an individual. But then you also realize that in some positions, you need to be floated by your own government. And how does the government get to know you? It's through your work. So basically, try to be visible in what you are doing and carry along people. One of the challenge, and I think I will say this because I had seen someone who had asked, what are the challenges women have faced as they move in their career ladder? And one of the things I will say is that women encourage each other. Sometimes you will find that you have all the qualifications and you are doing very well, but you may just have one thing that is not a challenge to you, but someone else will see as a challenge. And what do I mean by this? Young girls or young women at this time, if we're referring to someone as young, that means they're at that stage where they are getting their children, they are at that stage where they are setting up their families and the like. And as you do that, then you have more responsibilities coming to you. And that is where we want to encourage each other. That you will find you have a good friend who probably has lost network. He's not connecting with the people who can promote her, who can push her to the next level. Try to work together as women. Try to promote each other. Don't try to undercut each other. Because again, I remember, and I know someone had also asked about being discriminated. There is one time when I had my young kids, and I had this job which I had applied, and it was a good job, and I was ready. And the interview, it took 3 months. I know this is crazy, but the interview took 3 months. Those are like you are given an essay, another essay, another essay. And I when I think now in retrospect, I think it was about collecting information and then coming up with their plan. And then probably they already had their person or whatever. But one thing I remember is the last interview. And the last interview, after all this series of interviews, and I am busy, and it was online, incidentally, they say, the person called me and said, what time are you available between today at 5 to tomorrow at 10 in the morning? And that time, I'm a mother of triplets. They were young. They were just 3 years old. So in my arrangement, I said, I'll be happy to do this interview today at 6 because there are less activities. In the morning is a bit complicated. And in the process of my interview, one of my child came at the door, and the lady who was interviewing me, and she asked, oh, you have kids? And happily I said, yes, I am a mother. And we continued with the interview. I noted a change, but again, I didn't connect with anything. Then she asked me, how old are they? How old? And again, I was too generous in information. And I said, they are triplets. They'll be 3 years in a few months. And the interview ended. But guess what? I didn't get that job. And I was like, why didn't I get that job? And I was like, it was so positive. So I called this lady to find out what happened. And she was like, the work is very involving. And I was like, what do you mean? Who said I do not have the time? Why do you judge me just because of my circumstance? You should be the one trying to promote me, understand my circumstance, then we together work together. So again, that is what I'm saying. For you to get in this decision-making positions and to be at the higher level. Let's encourage each other. Let's try to push as much as you can, because it is that one person that you help that one day will either help you, will help your girl, will help whoever is going to help. So basically, let's work together as a team. Let's know we have challenges as women, but those challenges should not stop us from getting to the position where we want to be. So again, Cecilia, thank you very much for that question. And I really look forward to interacting with you more as we progress in this journey. Thank you. And back to you, Juliet.
Thank you so much, Dr. Margaret. I mean, we've learned about the opportunities that are there for us as girls and young women to engage with the African Union, with the training, governance. Everyone who is below the age of 30 here in this room, please know that there's an opportunity awaiting you on internet governance, the training that she has mentioned about. It would be great to hear more about that information. If you could share a link or something, Dr. Margaret, that would be great to support these young women and girls in the room. And before I open up the room completely, we have a very special guest who's heard about this intergenerational dialogue and was excited to actually join us. She is behind the amazing Girls in ICT campaign that is trending all over the world and works at the International Telecommunications Union. Allow me to just ask Oladipo.
Danola, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been so inspiring to be here. So sorry I have to rush off, but I mean, every single speaker has been so inspiring, and we just really hope that more young people can get involved in tech. And again, I'm not responsible for the whole campaign. It's a wonderful team putting together this global campaign. And I shared in the chat earlier the link to the Generation Connect website. So the ITU, for anyone who doesn't know, is the United Nations Agency for ICTs and Tech. So everything to do with telecommunication and technology comes through us, that international policy. And now I'm working on Generation Connect, which is our campaign and initiative to involve young people in the International Digital Development Dialogue. So if you've been listening to this and you want to get involved in tech, in connecting people to the internet, in campaigns that we're doing like this one, Girls in ICTs, and other campaigns that we're doing to, really help the marginalized people across the world to be connected to the internet, and not just connected, but also benefiting from the merits of being online, then please feel free to reach out. If you look on the website and you think, I want to be part of, the young people that are doing work with ITU, please feel free to actually add me on LinkedIn and ask for more details, because we have a closed LinkedIn and a closed Facebook group where we also share opportunities and, speaking opportunities, research opportunities, internship opportunities, things like that. And we would love any of the amazing, inspirational young girls we've heard asking questions today to really engage with that. So I'm going to just drop in the chat as well our email address, so you can also email. But with that being said, thank you so much, Julia, and thank you so much, Keith, for inviting me. This is so exciting to see how far the campaign is going, and we hope you'll keep on sharing this with others in your network. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dunola. Such a pleasure. And always have us in mind whenever all these opportunities come. We really want to participate as girls and young women in this space. Thank you so much. Now, I'm opening up to the girls. I've seen Ruth's hand has for the longest time been up. And Ruth, I want to give you the opportunity. If Keith, you can allow Ruth in the room, and Constance as well in the room, to be able to tell us, to ask the question or reflection. You're allowed to give 1 minute each. 1 minute. If it's a question, it's 1 minute. And if it's a comment, it's 1 minute, so that we are not pressed on time. So allow me to give the chance to Ruth. Ruth, your hand is up. You can unmute.
Hello.
Hey, Ruth. Welcome.
I had a question, and I was asking, I'm a girl from Kenya who has finished class 8 and now I'm transitioning to high school. And I'm kindly asking, which subjects would I need to do for me to pursue ICT and more dealing with it?
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to request Lily to answer that. Lily and Golda.
Hi. So, because she's in Kenya, happy to meet you, Ruth. I like your passion already. And so because you're in Kenya, I know how that works, but I'll tell you how it works in Ghana. So in Ghana, you're able to choose between general arts, that has different forms, literature, French, geography, economics, and different combinations. Then you can do general science, which has chemistry, biology, physics. You have the options sometimes for technical drawing. And then you can have also visual art. And for if you're somebody who loves drawing, technical drawing also, these are some of the people who move on to do art, fine arts, or even do architecture. In my school, that's when I went to KNUST. This is Kuma University of Science and Technology. You're able to use your skills from visual arts to also do architecture. Then there are other ones like for you who are a girl in tech, these are some of the areas I think you can explore, because those are the areas that would help you transition into say the sciences in the university. So if you did art and you have a combination of, say, economics and elective math or further math, you're able to do computer science. They allow you to just want the background of statistics or math, so you can be able to grasp the teachings that will come in your first year. And especially if you even have any knowledge in physics, is also important for you, because you'll be doing a lot of circuit theory starting off in your first year. That is, I'm talking about formal education. But as much as you can, you want to explore a lot of things. In the IT space, you are moving to high school. These are the combinations for you. But right now, look to things you find online for people in tech, like people who do coding, people who do programming, people who do, say, interface designing, that's user interface designing, and you want to see which one you really like. So for me, and from the part of the world where I come from, these are the combinations possible for you. And you may want to talk to somebody. I mentioned early on that one of the things that I missed when I was entering into the university, not high school like you are, was a mentorship. So they just thought, if you're good in science, do medicine, take pharmacy, and then you can add computer science, but you can talk to somebody and tell the person what you love, how you're passionate about this particular field, and they're able to advise you. Don't look to take the decision on your own. Get ideas and also sit down, reflect, and be very keen on going for something you're passionate about, so it doesn't feel so cumbersome for you.
Fantastic, Lily. And Golda, now that you are in the Kenyan space, this is our young sister, Golda. What would you advise her? Golda? Golda, you're on mute.
Thank you. She's frozen.
Allow me to ask at least one of us who is in Kenya who can also give. That is Ida. Ida, if you could pick that question kindly. Or is Golda back? Oh, okay. Yeah. Golda is back.
Sorry, I'd lost you guys for a minute. Wow. That's a very good question. I've forgotten who's asked it.
Ruth.
What I did in high school really set me on the path to what I'm doing. So one thing is, especially if you're not sure if you're going to do data science or software engineering, and if you're more passionate about data science, be really good at math. Math is compulsory. Also, to be able to do computer science in the university, especially in Kenya, you need to have physics, and you actually need to pass in physics. I think the cutoff is C+, but just try and be a bit higher. So mathematics and physics is very important. Also, when I was in high school, I did computer. Computer was also a very good opportunity, because it helped me to know about the club that was called the Women in Tech Technovation. Yeah. So when you're in computer, also, like, there's some of the things that we learn in computer that will really help you, especially when you start out in tech. Not much, but a bit of it. We'll give you like the basics, especially learning to type very fast. Computer, physics, and mathematics. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for those two perspectives. It's also good to know what other countries are doing on that. I know you want to chip in on that. What do you want to say in 1 minute?
I want to chip in. Okay. For me, I think I want to, you girls, you're going to be very excited, because nowadays you can learn so many things that are in the ICT space that might not be in your curriculum. And I would advise this really. because remember I learned how to code out of school. It was not even, it was during meetups and things like that. So right now we have a program called Africa Code Week, and we run it in we started by running it in 37 countries in Africa. And currently, we've trained about 8 million young learners in introduction to coding. Introduction, we say introduction because you have to be introduced to something in order for you to become good at it. So what I would encourage you is probably maybe, I don't know whether I should give my contacts or it's Juliet who's going to give my contacts, but you ladies need to be involved in this year's program, because it's one thing to wait for the educational system to give you the input. Right out here in the real world, the technology is moving so much faster than what anything you can learn in school. I love that Golda said, get a good foundation. A good foundation is beautiful because it will set you up for success. Because you don't have to change your thinking so much. You know, I mean, even I got a good foundation at home, you know, just with my brothers and my father, because I already understood that kind of thinking. And for me, I never even thought it was math or it was this, it was that. It was just that I could compute in my head because we used to do it as exercises for fun. It was a game. But so if you do education right, those courses she has told you about, those subjects, they'll set your mind so that in future, when I come on board, when even Dr. Margaret is talking about some great programs that are being run, when you come on board our programs, we don't have to work on your mindset that you can do it and please try and apply things in this way, because your brain is already automatically thinking like that, especially systematically, because that is how code works. So I would be very excited to have all of you on board. Don't worry, even though you have never world. And after that, it will be a smooth ride. For those who advance, there's a program that we run with CAFOR, which is the media and education arm of the African Union as well. That one, we are doing something more advanced because it's now where we are going to introduce the technologies that you're hearing about today, and how I want to encourage you, because remember, I won a European Union award and it was my first time to build an IoT system. My first time. So you guys who are coming now are probably even going to be the winners. You will beat all of us. And don't worry, it's not a competition, because it's just how you apply it. You will have interesting, I don't know your background. Dr. Margaret talked about her rural background. It gives her an enormous power to always push ahead. So if we teach you something and you use it in a new way, an exciting way that has not been done before, automatically you're at the top, and yet you started yesterday. So you see, the only barrier is in your mind. So some of you are starting today, and I know you will be winning awards tomorrow. So welcome to our program. We are very excited.
Wow, Ida, that's very important. And I hope to receive more information from you. We have all the email addresses of every participant who joined this particular exercise. So if you email us the links and the particular brief on that particular program, training program, we'll share all of that with them, and any other that you have in mind beyond this particular conversation. Thank you so much. So I've seen there's a question by Constance has been pressing. I know we have only 5 minutes, so if we can take Constance, and there's a lady seated with Jennifer in the studio who would also want to ask a question. So let's start with Constance, and then with the lady Jennifer, and as we wrap up. Constance, if you can unmute yourself and pose the question.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Constance.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be part of this session. I'm from Nigeria. I actually want to find out more about the earning part of the coding in terms of earning through ICT. I don't know if any of the facilitators can help me with this. Then, based on what was just discussed by the previous speaker before I started speaking, I wanted to find out, can I send my email address so that when information based on media in education is happening, I can be part of it, because I'm into public relations and advertising in Nigeria.
Okay, fantastic. I can tell that question is aimed at Golda and Ida for the media, IT in media. So allow me to start with Golda. Golda, you talked about the commercial aspects of ICT.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Juliet, but I didn't quite get the question.
She first mentioned that she needs clarification on how you can earn money from ICT, and which was mentioned as one of the things that you can that brings value to women and girls.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing is So one thing is earning money in ICT. One is through innovation, or it's definitely through innovation, because you can be able to get employed and work for an organization, especially if it's a tech company. And then there's the other aspect where you can decide to come up with an idea and actualize the idea, build it, get sponsors, get people signing up either to your website, buy stuff, and you can be able to monetize that aspect. There's also the aspect of joining a company and being an employee of a company where you're helping them build solutions. Yes, I hope I answered the question.
So I just want to add.
Yes, you did. Yeah, and Lily, on social media, how can we earn money from that?
All right. So with IT, like you mentioned, there's mainstream corporate work. You can build skills and work because the value that's been added to you is what you built through IT and the learning. So you can do the corporate work, be anything from a product manager to a programmer to a UI UX designer and whatnot. Then there's the other bit of freelancing. Now there are a lot of remote jobs across the world. Just type into Google global remote jobs, and you can see freelancers. People would ask that we want a design. You can use something like Canva to do a design and charge say $50, and across the world somebody will pick it. So you can do freelancing if you know how to write. People are looking for technical writers, or even people to proofread their technical writers. If you want to do something like blogging yourself, you can blog. And when you reach a point where you've amassed a lot of following, you can reach out to somebody and say, I want to influence a tech product because I have reached this following and I want to use my platform to promote your work. Then there's podcasting. You're passionate about something. You can do a podcast, share your ideas. If you also build a lot of following, you can monetize it. And in some parts of the world, there's already opportunity for you to monetize. But in my part, you can do something like promos. You can do, say, advertisement for people. And that's also a way of making money through, IT. Then the social media. People are doing digital marketing. People are doing online marketing. People are doing m-commerce and e-commerce. What is it you can do? Can you do something with your hand? Are you able to showcase it and let people be interested and place orders, and you can send it to them and they pay via mobile money or say bank transfer, explore that. So all those are areas that you can use IT for money. In freelancing, in corporate world, your own small talents that you are showcasing and people are interested in, and so they give you the opportunity for you to do it and then you're paid for it.
Wow, fantastic. I think we have a wide range of opportunities that we can tap into when we want to use ICT to earn money and commercial. That's quite a fantastic response. Either your last program, I think Constance's last part of the question was on your program, on the media program that you have. If you could kindly expound that for her, that would be great. Oh, you're on mute, Ida.
Okay. She wanted to know about the coding program?
Yes, there's a program that she talked about. Constance, if you could repeat the program again.
Yes, I wanted to know about the coding program as well as the media in education program.
Excellent. Yeah, good job. You actually pay attention. I'm very proud of you. Because no one ever catches the media part. They usually catch the coding. Yeah, the media part is the advanced part that I talked about, isn't it? Yeah, but it would be great for you to start with a coding program, because the coding program is a basic introduction to coding, and it's just a good foundation. Yeah, a good foundation. By the time we're going to the media program, we are exploring how some of these technologies can be used to build, for you to come up with solutions which can work in whatever situation that you're in. Now, remember, at that level, you're thinking solutions. You're not thinking about the technical skills. You're thinking about the problem and how you can solve for that problem, especially using the media space. So it takes a bit of time. I can't explain that now because you will have to go through the program. But I think I'll put my email, because there might be people with different interests, and some of them are not necessarily in coding and media. It might even be just to get encouraged by other women in STEM in terms of a conversation about their own internal struggles, be it feeling like an imposter, be it feeling overwhelmed, be it relationships, because relationships affect women in STEM a lot. And I'm talking about romantic relationships, girls. So we need to talk about that, because many women in STEM lose direction.
Okay, Lily froze there. Ida froze there, sorry. Okay. But Constance, at least you've had a gist of it, part of it. She's going to share her email, and I'll also share all other information.
Yes. So we want you to grow in all aspects, even life skills. Do not be afraid. No one is going to judge you. I will put my contacts there. Ask me which programs are good for you. Some of them we run. Some of them our partners are running. I will just share the information for free with you, because that's what we do as mentors. So worry not. I'm going to put my contacts just now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome, dear.
Hello, my name is Mavis and I've just done my 4th exams, and my question is, to do ICT, is there a minimum grade that you must have, and the compulsory subjects that you must do, and the grade that you must have in those subjects, and while joining university, which courses must you take to take ICT? Thank you.
All right.
Juliet, you're back?
Yes, Jen, please continue. Continue. I'm stabilizing my internet now.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Golda, and Golda had already responded to that question, but also let me, because there's something here I'm hearing. I'm an ICT, I'm a girl ICT, but to be honest, I actually in university, I think I did one course in technology, and that was desktop publishing several decades ago. But it was an interest to me. But what I have done, when I discovered that technology is an important component in our lives, I decided to learn. Like, you learn something new. I learned social media from zero. From how do you tweet, how do you post, how do you analyze your data, how do you target your tweets, doing blogs, my first website from Total News by myself. I built the website by myself using YouTube. YouTube is a whole university. If you're interested in technology and you're wondering where am I going to get this information from, I didn't pass very well in university, but I'm so passionate about technology. Just go to YouTube, look for videos on something that, for example, coding 101. There are so many videos on coding 101. Just go and do coding. There's so many courses that are being offered. For example, Google is offering free coding classes. Facebook is offering free coding classes. You can go to Udemy and you can get that. You can go to Coursera. You can go to e-learning. You can get, there's so many platforms that you can go and upskill yourself. Okay, I am a social worker by profession. I did social work in university, and then I did child development for my master's, but right now I'm actually working on my PhD, and my PhD is on technology. Okay, so I decided that being example, Golda can tell you, you can be a specialized technology in banking, okay? But for you to be a specialized technology in banking, you have to have done.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yeah, 1 minute, Jen, please.
I was not supposed to be a mentor, but I felt I could feel that tension of I need to have a particular grade. Don't let that limit you. Back to you, my co-moderator, Juliet.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And those were quite important insights. And I know this is such a juicy conversation. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. We are behind by 10 minutes. And so we probably need to wrap up this particular session. And first of all, really appreciate everyone who has made it here today. As I hand it over to Jennifer, as we try our last quiz of the afternoon, but really to appreciate. And let me just give 1 minute to Dr. Margaret, because I know a lot has been heard from Golda and Lily in terms of from our young girls, but I really wanted to hear from Margaret in her closing remark of this particular session. What really counts? What really counts in 1 minute, Dr. Margaret? What really counts?
Thank you again, Juliet. A very good conversation we have had, and I'm really encouraged to have been in this forum. So what would I say? Count, 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 count. For me, I would say be there, be present. If it is an interview, be there. If you see something being advertised and you think you meet the qualification, apply for it. If you have a passion for something, go for it. Start now accumulating what you need to get where you are going. And above all, always have a vision, know where you want to go. The paths may be different, but with a vision, then you will always get where you want to be. To all of you, thank you very much for this very engaging conversation. I look forward to continue engaging in this. Thank you again, and thank you to all the panelists. Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Margaret. Thank you, Golda. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Ida. All your contributions have come in handy. We have learned about those opportunities for our girls to code, for our girls to learn through your own personal experiences, through the particular platforms that you're running that are supporting girls in ICT. And we are running by this hashtag Girls in ICT all over Twitter, all over Facebook. Make a point whenever you want to pose a thought or ask a question beyond this conversation. Please feel free to do so. I would also request our dear and also hashtag Women in STEM. I'd request our mentors to add their Twitter handles. I know these conversations can continue beyond just this webinar, and we can have them ask direct questions using the hashtag Girls in STEM, Girls in ICT, and hashtag Women in STEM. And we will get their handles there as well. We are now coming to the end of this particular intergenerational dialogue. I'd like to hand over to Jennifer to share our last game of the dialogue before we close.
Okay, I want us to go to Kahoot again. Let's join. Let us to Kahoot and then I can start. I can't see anyone. We are still at 0. We need people to join in. Again, to join Kahoot, go to Google Kahoot and then Google Kahoot Play, and then they will ask you for the code. Use that code to join, and then you can join in. We are not joining. Let's join. Thank you. Okay, I want 2 more people to join so I can start. 2 more people. This is a repeat question. Let's see if people can remember. Perfect. Can remember. Oh, guys, you still can't remember? It's 1943. You still say 1890. 1943. Let's see who has won. Ruth. Ruth, you can remember. Okay. Next question? What is STEM? Thank you. She, the enabler of magic. You guys are amazing. Yes, she is the enabler of magic. Next. Thank you, Betty. Let's see if you can remember this one. Yes, we all got it. Yes, it's Marianne. So we can all remember. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for thank you so much for that. Let's see. This one. Is it true? There are more men, there are more women coders than men. False. But we're gonna change this, ladies, aren't we? Say, I want to see in the chat, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change this. I want to see in the chat, I'm gonna change this. I'm a proud girl in ICT. I'm gonna change this. Hulda, congratulations. You are the winner of these girls in ICT. Congratulations. Oh, actually, it's Ruth. Congratulations, Ruth. Congratulations. Congratulations, ladies. So, I want to see in the chat, I am a proud girl in ICT and I'm going to change the number of coders. Okay, thank you so much. Back to my co-moderator, Juliet.
All right, thank you so much, Jennifer, for such insightful and interesting. Wow, and congrats to Regina, congrats to Ruth, congrats to all of us who participated. And yeah, I can see a lot of comments coming in. Florence is saying, I've just started learning things and I need a lot of support. Constance is a proud girl in ICT. Regina is going to change the numbers. More girls are going to enter into coding. Oh, yes. All of you who are interested in so much with conversation, I've told you it's not stopping. Just go online, get to look for Ida, get to look for Lily, get to look for Golda and Dr. Margaret and tag them and ask more questions. And the hashtag is Girls in ICT. So feel free to continue the conversation there. And thank you so much for finding time. I know you can all tell that it was, mind-blowing and we've learned a lot. So let's continue learning, growing, and thank you for being part of such webinars. Please make a point of always being in such webinars. That's how you learn of opportunities, such as coding and what we've had here today, next webinars on ICT. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you, kids behind technology, all the work that has been put together towards ensuring this event is a success. We truly appreciate all the support from Plan International, Total News, Farway, and Africa Youth Commission. Thank you so much. And it's from all of us, it's goodbye. Bye-bye.